So now we're going to show you how to replace a microfiber roller on one of the service stations. In order to access the microfiber roller, we're going to want to open up the diagnostics menu for the operation, and from the diagnostics we're going to go to the maintenance tab, and here we have a button available to us that says remove service station wiper. We can either select to do all the heads if we wanted to do all the heads, or we can select one head to do. So for this particular case example, we're going to show you how to do it on head 1. So we'll go to the remove service station wiper here. Down here at the bottom you can see that the operation has started, and you can kind of hear different noises within the print engine occurring as the service station is moving to the appropriate position. So now down here at the bottom it says that the wiper, remove wiper successfully completed. So we can go ahead and open up the clamshell. And now we can see that the service station 1 has been moved to the wiper position so that we can remove it. And it's really simple to do. All I really do is just grab a hold of the 2 white circles here, and I just pull up on the shaft adjacent to it to pull the piece out. When you go to put it back in, you're going to put it back in between these clips here, and then there's similar clips on the other side. And you have a steel gear on one side, and you have a plastic gear on the other side. So the steel gear is always going to go to the left. Another thing that I want to show you before I stick that in is how the new ones come. So this is what a new wiper roll looks like, and on one end you're going to see there's a piece of plastic that is up a little bit, and you can just pull and tear off the plastic protective covering before you install it back into the machine. I'm using gloves here, one to protect me from getting really dirty from the ink as I remove the old one, and then the other one is that I don't want to contaminate the surface of the microfiber material with the oils from my hands when I install the new one. In this particular case, we're just going to put the old one back in. So if I was putting the roller back in, it just pushes down into the openings and each end snaps into place. So you can see here how that's seated in between the clips, and on this side it's also seated in between the clips. I also want to rotate it, and you can hear the clicking that's occurring right there. So that's a good indication that it's installed correctly. The other thing is you want to pull it back the opposite direction, and it should not rotate in the back direction. It should only be able to rotate in one direction. If it rotates in the reverse direction, then you've got an issue with the service station that you're going to need to resolve, or possibly you don't have it fully seated in the service station. So after it's installed like such and you verify that it's correct, we can close the upper clamshell. And then we'll come back to the diagnostics window, and we can select print head 1 right next to the install service station wiper 1, and then we can say install service station wiper. This routine is going to take a little bit more than 4 minutes to complete. So, but essentially it's all automated, and it's going to be done here in a little bit. We're going to be showing you how to replace the service station on the Vortex 4200. The first step in doing that is depriming the head for the associated service station and removing it. So we'll go into our diagnostics GUI, select the maintenance tab, and then we're going to, next to the remove print head, we're going to select the appropriate head, which will be head 1. We're going to say remove. If I open up my status screen, I can see here that it says removing print head deprime, step 1 of 1. And I can also go ahead and take my top cover off here so that I can access the print head. And then I've got the packaging for the print head available, the original packaging available here, so that way I can put it to the side. So after the latch solenoid has actuated, then we're good to remove the print head. Put it in its packaging. With the print head removed, now we can go ahead and open up the upper clamshell. And we'll open it up to the service area here. We're going to use a torque 10 driver and remove the 4 screws that surround the head. I'm sorry, surround the service station. And then with that loosened up, then we can try to pull it up with pulling the platen up. And then we're just going to set that off to the side for use later. Now you've got your print head, your service station unhooked pretty much. Use the same 4 screws that hold the platen on around it, also hold it in its place. So we've got this connector here on this side, this orange connector, which we will remove. Okay, so the toughest part of this is clearing this orange connector right here. Once you get that orange connector out of the way, it should lift straight up. You've got 2 hoses on this side. One of them is for the carousel, which is this upper part right here, and then the other one is for the transfer roller, which is this down here. So your carousel has a wick in the center for the platen, and it also has a wick in the center for the cap, which picks up ink. And then the microfiber roller here will transfer its ink down onto this metals transfer roller, and so there's where the 2 waste positions come from. So we will go ahead and disconnect the connectors right here, and you'll also notice that there's one set of tubes here that are marked with white tape. Okay, so when we go to reinstall these 2, we're going to reconnect the white tape to the white tape to not get them mixed up. You can also look to see on the new service station that you install whether you want to take the elbows with you or leave them behind. I believe that we're going to want to leave the elbows behind to be able to reuse them. Station is out. The other thing you're going to want to do when you install a new service station is that you've got an area right there, the small hole that gives you access to a dip switch. This dip switch is oriented to the position of the service station, whether it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. The service manual will give you the indication as to what those settings are. If you don't know them, or if you don't have the old service station to be able to get those off of. So now we'll just go ahead and reattach the same service station back in here. So now we can put the service station back into the printer. We can go ahead and hook up our lines. So this is the one that's got the tape on it. So I'm going to go to the one that's got the other white piece of tape on it. My other hose. These fittings just have a barbed end on them, so they slip on and off. Orange connector out of the way so that way it'll drop down nice and easy. Okay, and now see if we can pull that orange connector back out towards us. I have to be real careful because this is my media encoder right here, so I don't really want to damage the encoder wheel, which is buried back there. Now that I got it on, I kind of take a look at the height of it, where it's sitting, and make sure that it's not too low, or not too high, so it appears like it's in the middle of that opening. And I know that it's lined up to the pins correctly. And then I can go ahead and put my cover back on. Screws down. Now when I go to tighten these screws back up, I just want to get them really just kind of finger tight, okay? I don't want to crank down on them too hard because it'll make the platen bow. And if the platen bows, then it could cause some interference with my media as it's coming through. We'll go ahead and close the clamshell. And then we can do a quick inspection of the print head to platen gap adjustment, just to make sure nothing's changed there. That's going to be especially important if you end up putting a new a new service station into place. But if you're just putting the old one back in there, nothing should change. After we've done our gap adjustment, then we'll go ahead and put the print head back in.